Have you ever seen a massive regional war get canceled by a social media post? Because that is exactly what just happened. Within a frantic 12-hour window, we went from the absolute brink of a global oil crisis to Donald Trump sitting in the Oval Office promising a historic peace treaty. On Thursday morning, Trump was threatening to unleash the U.S. military, explicitly stating he planned to seize Iran's Kharg island, the absolute crown jewel of their oil empire, and assume total control of their energy markets. It was the ultimate escalation. But then, just hours before the bombers were supposed to fly, he pulled the plug. He canceled the strikes. So, what exactly did Iran offer to make the president stand down at the absolute last second? Let's map out this crazy 12-hour flip. To understand why this sudden deal is so shocking, you have to look at the bloodbath of the last few days. This has been the hottest week of combat since the U.S.-Israel war, with Iran kicked off back on February 28th. The April ceasefire was already falling apart, but things went totally off the rails on Monday when Iran shot down a U.S. Army Apache helicopter in the Strait of Hormuz. For the next 72 hours, it was pure chaos. Israel and Iran were trading missiles. The U.S. Central Command struck Iranian air defense sites. Trump was publicly accusing Iran of playing the U.S. for suckers. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth literally went on the record from CENTCOM headquarters saying, "If we need to negotiate with bombs, we'll negotiate with bombs." We were locked and loaded for a massive Thursday night airstrike, and then a total 180. So here's what Trump claims is happening right now. He announced that discussions had suddenly reached the highest level of Iranian leadership. According to the White House, they've struck a great settlement. While the exact 14-point framework is still under wraps, the core pillars are massive. First, the Strait of Hormuz, the vital choke point for global oil supply, is supposed to reopen immediately upon signing. Second, Trump claims Iran has agreed to terms that ensure they will never have a nuclear weapon. The documents are supposedly in their final shape, and a formal signing could happen in Europe as early as this weekend. Wall Street loved the pivot. The stock market literally exploded, jumping 1,000 points the second the news broke. But guys, here's the massive red flag. Notice what didn't happen? The U.S. naval blockade on Iran wasn't lifted. Trump stated clearly, the naval blockade will remain in full force and effect until this transaction is finalized. And more importantly, there has been zero confirmation from Tehran. Just hours before Trump claimed a deal, Iran's foreign ministry called the April ceasefire meaningless and promised continued retaliation. This looks like the ultimate game of geopolitical chicken. Trump threatened to take their oil, brought the bombers to the runway, and forced a verbal agreement. But until ink hits paper in Europe, this region is still a powder keg. Is this the ultimate masterstroke of peace through strength, or just another temporary pause before the whole thing blows up again? I want to know what you guys think. Drop your theories in the comments. Make sure you hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because if this deal falls apart, we will be covering the fallout live. See you in the next one.